Back at it again, Cigar Spencer. You know what time it is. It's time for some top 10 talks. Yes, a list. Top 10 talks. Hopefully, a lot more detailed talk than the one you heard on Facebook a couple weeks back. I got my man LB Brown here, WP4L. If you're on the forum, hey, one of the best forum members. There's another level of nerdiness out there when it comes to local football, y'all. And there's some people that are like really into it the way I'm into it, who know the ins and outs, that keep up with it. We are the Longview Cowboys, like, we're the biggest show in town. Like, they really keep up with it. And this is one of the most level-headed dudes on the forum. One of the guys that's very, very detailed, very just got a really good eye on it. Post. Then when I do get on there and read from time to time, I'm always looking for WP4L. Especially after a game, I want to know what they got to think about it. I think I'm human. I think we all want to know what people say about us. So, Levis is in the building. Go ahead and speak to these people one time.
What's going on, man? It's LB for short, for everybody that know me. Me and Spence, we go back, graduated the same year. I'm just happy to make it to the pod. I enjoy reading everything, he do. I support everything he do. I watch all the podcasts. And we've been talking about it for a minute, but we finally did it.
Yeah, we're here now.
Yeah, we're here now. So what we got, man?
Let's go into these top 10s.
Yes, sir.
Let's go list by list.
List by list. What we got?
And you can ask me whatever question you want to ask about it.
Yeah.
The whys, obviously.
Yeah.
This is
you want me to critique the list?
I mean, you do what you want to.
Yeah, I got you, bro. Yeah.
We can go back and forth on it.
Yeah.
But let me pause.
Fullback, you got Chris. I got Jesse.
All right, let's get into it. We're here, fresh off a little pause break, but let's go each list by list.
List by list. Let's go.
By each position.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll start with the quarterbacks. My favorite position. Even though we don't have the greatest quarterback tradition here as far as passing yards and stuff like that goes, but we have had some tremendous leaders at that position. Number 10 for me is Michael Ross. Number 9, Michael Ross from 2015. Damian Lewis, 2007, number 9. Number 8, I've got Jordan Allen, 2020 to 22. Number 7, I got Josh Thomas in 2021. Number 6, I got Des Chumley from 2012 to 14. Number 5, I got Dennis Carraway from 2010 to 12. Number 4, I got Pete Robertson, 2010. Number 3, I got Joel Armstrong from 2000 2002. Number 2, Aaron Johnson from 07 to 09. And from number 1, obviously, Haynes King from 17 to 19.
So that top 3 is very solid, and that should be universal top 3.
Yeah.
If you don't got Haynes, Aaron, and Jewel in that order, I don't know what to say. Like, Haynes speaks for itself. We got an only state championship behind him. He was great. I know a lot of people want to see better from him in 2019, but his peaks, nobody touched them. Right. His lows were, they were rough, but nobody touched his peak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that kind of goes into why I had him number 2.
Yeah,
top 100, because the peaks were the peaks.
Now let's discuss that real quick. Let's discuss that real quick.
Do we want to interject right now?
Let's interject.
Okay, we can interject.
So your master list, you had Haynes 2, and you had Vondrell 1.
Yeah.
You said that Haynes was 2 because of 2019.
Correct.
But you don't deduct Vondrell for 2005.
There was never a point in Vondrell's season.
It's just a question.
Well, I'm getting to it. There was never a point where I was watching Vondrell and it looked like he didn't know what he was doing.
Okay.
There were a couple of times in 19 where Haynes was playing what are you doing?
I got you.
So and after such a tremendous year,
yeah,
the letdown was what?
Right.
And if you switch the years, and he has this junior year and this incredible senior year, and the taste in your mouth is left for a good one.
Right.
Pause if necessary. But
you
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you, bro.
Yeah,
I got you.
It's damn, that is the last thing I remember.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. That's understandable. That's understandable. It's no secret. 2019 was not quite the year that we was expecting. But I just think his peaks is what should keep him number one.
I feel you.
You know, that's nearly 4,000 yards as a junior. He's offensive MVP in the state championship game.
Yeah.
And he finished.
I'm telling you, people left on that dope, man. I'm telling you that he would be immortalized. There would be a statue of Haynes in that new facility that we finna have built.
Yeah.
If he would have left on that note.
We still need a statue, though. I ain't gonna lie.
No,
but yeah, we do.
That was an incredible year.
But I ain't gonna go too deep in there because Von Drell my guy too. So all right, but
two is Aaron Johnson, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead. What you got? Go ahead.
Aaron Johnson. All I think about with Aaron Johnson is Dink Geyer. 2008.
Man, Texas Stadium,
2008.
Waco Midway back to
Waco Midway. I mean, he went just straight up. You know, a lot. You know, kind of the same thing that people think with Michael Jordan. You know, the aura that comes with it. Aaron Johnson.
To this day.
Can we cuss on this podcast? Yeah. He's a fucking legend.
Yeah.
The dude is a fucking legend. He had a 2 week period where he just went ape shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but specifically, there's two runs that really come to mind when it comes to Aaron Johnson. The run against Geyer in 08, the last one. We all know which one that is. You know, he scrambled. It's a
my top run,
bro. Bro, man, you know, it's a pass play. Can't find it. So he scrambles to the right. It looks like nothing's there, but he just keep on running, and then he juke one guy, jukes another guy, and ends up across the field in the end zone.
Tongue out like Jordan.
Yeah. So the other run that I want to bring up happened against Texas High. And you should know which one I'm talking. Yeah, the one where he did the. Only Aaron Johnson is going to make that run. Only. So Aaron Johnson is.
Yeah, the amount of highlights from that 08 group with Tyler and Aaron.
Yeah,
they really go back and forth. Like, I don't know who had the most highlights between those two. They could really.
I'm gonna say Aaron, and that's saying a lot. That is saying a lot because Tyler was a wizard.
That might be an idea one day, like do a highlight versus. Like, you got the coldest 10 highlights.
Hey, Aaron Johnson. Let's go. Well, you right too. But look. You could probably do a top 5 right now as far as like highlights. It's gonna be Aaron Johnson. It's gonna be Tyler McRae. It's gonna be Keelan Williams. All
right, I'm writing it down for later. We got to do the seeding for the top 16 highlights. Going against each other.
We'll get into that later. But anyway,
top 10 quarterbacks.
Top 10 quarterbacks.
We here till 1 o'clock a.m.
No doubt, we will. But that top 3 is pretty solid. Joel Armstrong, the godfather of the triple option. Yeah. I don't think we get much of the great quarterbacks that we got after him, if not for him.
Just to speak on Joel, that 2002 run, really not even just 2002, 2001 was special.
Yeah.
Especially the ending of the season.
Yeah.
And getting to the Texas Stadium and playing Allen in that stadium and at that time.
I was at that game, yeah.
02 was incredible.
Well, 02 was like, for our age range, was like the first team that we fell in love. Yeah.
They popped it off. I think,
Yeah. And even in the loss against Lufkin in the playoffs and Tyler, man, I mean, he went off. I mean,
that team, that backfield, incredibly talented.
No.
You know what I mean?
Not by any means.
Not when you compare it to the rest of the Lobos, but Joel did the full in 02.
Joel,
big hats off to Joel.
Big hats off.
It takes a valiant effort to unseat Joel Armstrong.
So that's everybody's universal top 3. If you got anything else, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm not listening to you.
I am not listening to you either. I am too, and I might run away. Shoot, I might run away. Might jog. If that ain't the top 3. So then we get to number 4, which is a Pete Ross. Is it Pete?
That's for me. It's Pete.
All right, so you got Pete at number 4.
And that's a new change for me because as these years this comes out, Pete's always been like number 7 for me.
Yeah.
But as I really thought about it, Pete's number 4 to me.
So him versus Bivens is so tough, bro. It really is. But I can understand him being at 4 and Bivens being at 5. I think the only reason Bivens is at 5 because of the 2012 injury, right? Like we can agree that if he does.
You know, what's that first word you said?
Okay, yeah, we gon'. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about it. I don't do ifs.
Yeah,
because you can do ifs for anybody.
Yeah,
and you can make a case for anybody.
Yeah,
off of ifs.
No doubt.
I don't do ifs.
No doubt.
So
no doubt.
I get it. Yeah, if Bivens plays in 2012, he might be number 2 on the list. Like he has his arm.
He would definitely.
His arm talent is. Number
at
1
at
or
that
2
time
or 3.
At that time, we had never seen an arm talent like
you never seen an arm like Bivens.
And we damn near
like top 3 arms are Josh, Bivens, and then Haynes.
Yeah, no doubt.
And they can go in any order.
Yeah, depending on the day. Yeah.
Now, I know Bivens had an incredible arm, but I also know these are both 1-year guys. If you keep them in the book.
Yeah.
Pete's a 1-year guy.
That's true.
Bivens is a 1-year guy.
Yeah, that's true. Pete.
And
yeah.
when we couldn't throw the ball, Pete could do something else. When Bivens and them couldn't throw the ball, Bivens, I'm not saying that he couldn't do nothing else, but he obviously didn't have the trust of his coaching staff to do something else. That wasn't his game.
Yes.
Bivens is not a running quarterback, and he can run, and he was kind of fast.
Yeah.
When he did tuck the ball and then run, it wasn't like he was a bad athlete. I'm not saying that, but that wasn't his game.
Yeah, Pete was very, Pete was very valuable to that 2010 team.
How many playoff games did Pete take over? The first one against Belton was incredible.
Probably all of them. It's at some degree.
South Orleans, I get it to the defense. We didn't do nothing special in our offense.
Yeah.
Tom Ball, Pete had some moments.
Yeah.
Mesquite
Horn is Pete Robinson.
And then
Guy is Pete.
Until he messed it up.
Yeah.
But every game had his his stamp.
We do not get to the semifinals.
You get to Bivens and it's like, okay, week 1, I don't know who they played. I don't even remember they playoff games.
Week 1 they played Temple in 2011, and then the second week they played.
He had a great game against Temple.
Yeah, and then that second week they played. They played Saxe, and that was actually.
He had a great game against them.
Yeah, he did, but that was most of the Justin Fagans game.
Right.
Justin had 200 yards that game, I believe, and then
week 3 against Decatur, like that was your time to do something and take over their game.
Yeah.
I'm not this was years ago, so that make it sound like I'm on this case.
Yeah.
But that's just what happened.
Right. Yeah.
He went 3 rounds deep, and Pete went 5 rounds deep. So
yeah.
If we compare in 1 year, I'm giving the guy that went 5 rounds.
Yeah, and Pete was very, very important to that 2010 team. We just don't go to we don't go to the semifinals without Pete Robinson. We just don't, because I can the 2010 defense was that was the better side of the that football team. There's no question about it. The stuff we had on that defense, man. Honestly, that defense underrated a little bit, but as far as like the totality, but we'll talk about that at another time. But we just don't go as far without Pete Robinson.
No,
we don't. The Mesquite Horn game alone, we don't get out of it.
So who you rolling with? You rolling with Biv?
I ain't gonna get into the ranking part of it, but I'm gonna just give my flowers to both of them. Pete, I just talked about Pete and how important he was to that 2010 team.
Yeah.
If a lot of people don't know, he did play quarterback, freshman year and in middle school and stuff like that, coming out of Judson. But Pete was very important to that 2010 defense. 2010 team. Now Bivens was when his era came, it was something we hadn't quite seen.
Right.
That was around the time the program really started taking stuff like 7-on-7 more serious.
He's the first quarterback.
Yeah.
Longview football, keep it above.
And
Joel was a runner. He went to college and played receiver.
Yeah.
Carlin was a runner. He was chunky, but he wasn't gonna beat you throwing the football.
No.
D-Mark, a runner, he could throw it a little bit. D-Mark was actually a decent passer.
Miles was he was very underrated.
Yeah, he's actually a decent passer.
He's a very underrated thrower of the ball.
Once again, not a passing.
Right.
Damian Lewis went out leaning. Aaron Johnson went out leaning. He's the first guy in Kings era. First guy, really probably in program history, where we actually handed the keys to him.
Absolutely, that is true. And the arm talent, you know, he's for me. I don't tell a lot of people this, but for me, Haynes is the best quarterback we've ever had. I don't think he's the best arm we ever had. I think the best arm we've had was Bivens currently.
Now Haynes has got some incredibly accurate.
Well, he has other things that make him the number one quarterback. You know what I mean?
Right.
But Bivens,
pure arm?
Yeah, Bivens. You know, he started up an era, man. A lot of passing records got broken.
Yeah.
During the Bivens era, and afterwards, a lot of receiving records got broken during the Bivens era, and afterwards,
right.
He was. It's kind of crazy sitting here talking about it, but Bivens was very influential for what came afterwards. Yes. Because a lot of these quarterbacks afterwards started having a more of an emphasis on the arm.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Bivens, I'm not going to differentiate. I butchered that shit up. I killed that shit, but I'm not going to, say who was better between Pete and Bivens. I'm going to give them both their flowers, and that's just how we're going to end it with that. It's because it's really hard to pick between the two. For several reasons. Like me, with me, Bivens had the best arm ever. So it's like, okay, he had that over Peter.
Right.
But Peter could run.
But it's high school football. Like, it's not college football. It's not professional football. Where you're throwing it. Like, in high school, you can really take over a game if you get a guy that can run it.
Bivens was throwing to some good targets, too.
I'm gonna play Pete's highlights over the top of this while we talk. Pete can throw the ball just a little bit now.
Yeah, Pete could throw the ball. That's why I threw in.
I know it's not Bivens.
That's why I threw in that nugget that he had played quarterback before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what we got number
6? I got Chumley 6. I had to go Pete over Chumley.
Yeah, Chumley. 2013 is really the year when I think about Dez Chumley. He put up some good numbers that year. He had some good targets that year. Whitaker, tight end. Stephon Pelham. Well, actually, my fault. I fucked that up too. Yeah. But yeah. They were good. They were good targets. And then who's next?
7 was. Josh Thomas. Put Josh Thomas at 7. As a talent, is in the top 3.
Man, I'm finna go in on Josh Thomas. So Josh Thomas is on this top 10 list, and he's probably the only one on this list that played as a full-time starter less than 6 games.
Yeah.
And that should tell you a lot about Josh Thomas.
Right.
Josh Thomas, if he gets to Longview sooner, is a top 3 quarterback on this top 10 list probably. Easily. And I hate to disrespect the people that's sitting. Well,
it's not even disrespectful.
Yeah.
It just speaks to the talent level.
Right.
Like his TJC numbers this past year, he threw I don't know how many touchdowns.
I mean, the dude is getting D1 recruited if he doesn't get unlucky with injuries in his high school career.
Right.
And that's beyond Longview too. Before he got to Longview, he dealt with injuries. So Josh Thomas is a beast. And I think Michael Ross next.
8 is Jordan Allen. I went Jordan Allen at 8.
Yeah. Jordan had a great senior year. He took care of the ball well. He ran the offense. No. I don't. I'm gonna call it a buck. Like, Jordan Allen did great his senior year. He ran the offense well. He took care of the ball well. He threw the ball well. I think the biggest thing with him his senior year is it felt like the 2 years prior just felt like the game was a little fast for him. You know what I mean? And I could be wrong. You're the coach, but
He just wasn't that good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sophomore year and his junior year, he wasn't. He just wasn't that good. But he's always smart. Yeah. That's the great thing about it. He put us in the right position, and you knew he wasn't going to go the wrong way on a handoff.
Right.
You knew he wasn't going to, and that's just talk about not really talking about the other guys on the roster, but you felt the most comfortable with Jordan on the field because Jordan cared.
He does have the most interesting story of everybody on the list.
But let's keep it a buck. Sophomore year, he wasn't good. Junior year, he wasn't that good.
Yeah,
but senior year, he was.
Yeah.
Senior year, he was that good.
And he does have the most interesting story of everybody on the list, I think.
You go from B team
quarterback,
to varsity starter. That should tell you everything you need to know about. And if you keep it a buck, if that quarterback room is how it's supposed to be, where you're not bleeding on the sophomore. Like sophomores that start on quarterback is because they're special.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's because they're not.
That's
normal.
true.
Like the program isn't designed for a sophomore that started on freshman B team.
No doubt. Yeah.
So he shouldn't have even been in that position, but because of how our program was at the time, what we had in the quarterback room, he gave us the best chance at winning.
Yeah, the 22 class didn't have a quarterback.
He probably is one of those guys like a Damian Lewis or a Michael Ross or some of these other guys that only started 1 year, but if you only had that 1 year, you don't say anything bad about him because he was out there when he was supposed to be out there.
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to be out there his sophomore year.
Yeah.
Maybe his junior year, but his sophomore year, he wasn't supposed to be out there.
He's on a short he's on a short list of quarterbacks that got to the semifinals.
Yeah.
And
played well.
Yeah, he
2 touchdowns and should have had almost a third. And Jalen dropped one.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He played really well this senior. 26 touchdowns and like 3 picks.
His senior year, he was
2,600 yards.
Yeah, he was amazing. He was nothing short of greatness. Like you said, I try to keep it, but I'm
not gonna let you dance around. All that. He wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And everybody that watched it knows. So I'm not saying anything crazy.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But he had a really good senior year though. So that's where he lands there.
Yeah.
Number 8 was who we say number 8? It's Jordan. Number 9 is Damian Lewis from 2007.
Yeah, Damian Lewis went through a pretty hectic QB battle with Aaron Johnson that spring.
Right. Hindsight.
I didn't know what I was expecting from Damian Lewis going into that year, to be honest. I thought Aaron would probably take over quarterback as a sophomore, but that's not what happened. Damian Lewis
never gave him a reason to pull him.
Yeah, he never gave you a reason to pull him. Got you to the 4th round. Well, Johnny Garrett went off in the playoffs, but Johnny Garrett went off in the fucking playoffs.
I'll speak on Damian Lewis. Damian Lewis ain't game. He could see the field, and he could accurately throw the football down the field. Him and TB had a great connection.
David Larson too.
He was a great intermediate thrower to David Larson. He could throw the deep ball to TB.
Yeah.
He could throw it in the flesh to Mark Johnson. He could throw it in the flesh to whoever was out there. There wasn't nothing he couldn't do on the field.
Yeah.
Were you asking him to go win the game? No.
Mm-mm.
But could he run it 9 times a game and get you 75 yards, score a touchdown?
Absolutely.
Run you over because he looks like a fullback when he runs the ball?
Absolutely.
Could he throw it deep down the field and hit a TB open? Absolutely.
Now, how much of a gap do you have between him and DeMarcus Miles?
I think mainly the playoff run is what puts
That's the difference maker.
Like if you look at everybody that's on the list, with Michael Ross being at 10, he goes 4 rounds deep.
Michael Ross, yeah.
You look at Damian Lewis, he went 4 rounds deep.
Yeah.
Look at Jordan Allen, 5 rounds deep.
5 rounds, yeah. I got
you look at Josh Thomas, 3 rounds deep, but still just an immensely talented guy. Desmond Chumley, a lot of yards, didn't have a deep playoff run.
Yeah, three rounds as deep as he
was. Is 3 rounds deep.
Yeah.
And then you look at the top, Pete, 5 rounds deep in 1 year. Joel, 4 rounds deep. Head twice. State twice. Aaron, Haynes won the thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why they're where they are.
Because
of how successful.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Wins do matter, especially from the quarterback position.
Right, and that's the thing about Carlin. And we can keep going. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Let's get to Michael Ross.
Yeah.
At number 10. What do you think about Michael?
Michael Ross at his peak is probably top 5 on this list. I don't know how you feel about that, but in his heart, I get it. There's a lot of people out there probably saying, hell no. because you saw him at the beginning, like during the regular season and stuff like that. And trust me, I was that guy too. That was like, man, I don't know how long we gonna go
at his peak
if he keep playing like this. But when he got to, I want to say his coming out party was against Wiley in the third round that year, and we saw it against Wiley, and I was like, okay, this is the Michael Ross we've been waiting on. And then we got the next week against Lake Ridge, and
the week before against Mansfield Summit, he makes one of the most ridiculous plays.
That's Johnny Manziel, man. That was to the tight end,
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, and even Michael Ross. We talked about how Bivens was something that we hadn't quite seen.
Right.
Michael Ross, we hadn't quite seen that.
No, you hadn't.
And he was mobile. Yeah, we've had mobile quarterbacks.
Right, but he was mobile to throw it.
Yeah.
He was looking to throw.
Yeah.
That's why he was using his mobility. He wasn't really trying to run it, but
right.
I move around so I can throw it.
Yeah. And he watched some Johnny Manziel. You can tell. For sure. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I'm glad you feel that way about Michael Ross, because it's going to take...
peak Michael Ross is top 5 on the list. The peak.
At the peak, yeah. It's crazy because I don't, Michael Ross has probably only got about maybe 4 more years to be on this list. Because it's going to be one that's going to come knock him off, and then it's going to be dominoes after that.
It could be.
Because we got some young
talent coming. We got some guys coming, man, yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. I don't want to speak too much about people that ain't there. But
he don't, but I'm But anyway.
I don't want to give him that.
I got you.
Give him that like just yet.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the dudes that's not on it. Let's start with the oldest guy, Quincy Grant.
Yeah, man, Quincy, man,
incredible talent.
Just unlucky.
Unfortunate.
Unlucky, unfortunate.
Back-to-back ACLs.
Yeah, that is unlucky and unfortunate. If we got Quincy Grant in 04, I don't.
Woo!
Yeah, I don't.
That's one of the biggest what ifs in Lobo history.
If we got Quincy Grant in 04, man, because the thing is, when you don't got Quincy, it takes away from Malcolm Kelly, it takes away from Gordon Freeman, it takes away.
You got Quincy in 03.
That
team is undefeated until they lose Quincy Grant. Coming down the stretch, like in 03, they started out undefeated, and then they don't lose until they lose Quincy Grant, and they lost. I think he maybe lost that game they towards ACL. Maybe not. They probably didn't even lose that game. I don't think.
Yeah,
but I mean, you got your quarterback as your personal punt protector, and you running a fake and get ACL torn.
He had just in 04 when he re-injured the knee. He had just threw an 80-yard TD to Gordon Freeman.
Right.
So
Quincy
is one of the biggest what ifs, and and even then, like, he was so great in the time that he did get to be in there. It's the reason we're talking about him now.
Right.
The dude was a beast, man.
One of those talents, a talent for sure.
Yeah.
But not with the legacy in the total resume. Not a guy that makes it.
Man.
Next is Carlin Freeman, one of the more revered players in Lobo history.
Yeah, Carlin was a great leader. Tough as nails. He was tough as hell, man. I don't think he's a 3-year varsity guy, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, I think, one of the criteria for making the list was multiple playoff wins, and he has that in 04, but in 05.
Yeah, that. And you can blame referees, you can blame whoever for that.
Yeah.
But the fact is what it is. 03 is one of the worst performances ever.
But Carlin never hurt the team.
03 wasn't a hot year in 03.
What,
he was a sophomore.
He's a sophomore, whatever.
It was kind of rainy that game, and he was thrown in a bad position, and they weren't at full strength.
Yeah.
And I get it.
03,
but it's still ugly.
Yeah,
it still happened.
Yeah. I got you.
It still gets counted.
I fully.
04, great run. He played well enough in the Lufkin game.
It
wasn't because of him.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Nah, he played well enough, and that was that's on Chris Ivory in those fumbles, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
05, that's really not on him because he played well in the South.
No, that's the thing about him. Like the losses, you don't even bring up.
Yeah, it's not because of Carlin.
You do not bring up Carlin Freeman. Yeah.
But it's just the fact that he just didn't do enough.
Yeah. He just didn't. He just don't have the numbers.
In this era, because he does have a big arm. He could throw it far.
I still think about that. I still think about that throw he had against Tyler Lee in 05 against Vondrell caught it. Yeah, I still think about that throw.
He's got moments.
Yeah.
It's just without having to say what if.
Yeah.
You can't justify putting him in there.
Yeah,
Same thing with DeMarcus Miles. DeMarcus Miles highlight tape is pretty darn good too.
DeMarcus Miles,
he's a really good football player.
I like DeMarcus Miles' arm more than Damian Lewis's arm, me personally.
I feel you on that.
But I also know that the win-loss column matters.
Yeah.
And me personally, I don't even know if I have Damian Lewis over DeMarcus Miles.
I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I feel you on it.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I can see why you would say
I'm a D-Mal fan. I am.
I like DeMarcus,
but I also understand.
I'm just saying, like, you got to go off what happened.
Right.
For me, I go off what happened.
Right.
And D. Lou was pretty good.
Yeah.
And he kept the ship afloat for 4 rounds.
Yeah.
And even though it was mainly Johnny Garrett.
Johnny Garrett to me is the MVP of them runs. But I understand. I understand for sure. I understand.
I get it. I understand why you can say that. That's a fair argument to say.
But Damian Lewis had about 400 more passing yards too. So, but that was in. He played 2 more games. So,
yeah, no, that's true too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played a couple more games than Miles did.
Yeah.
And probably ain't no probably better. He definitely had better targets.
Well, they both had TB, but
there were different versions. Of
they was
at that point.
Yeah,
senior years.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, who's next? D. Miles didn't make it. Next guy, maybe Rayshawn McGee.
He's in the same class as Aaron Johnson.
As a talent.
Yeah.
Top 10 talent for sure.
Yeah, especially arm talent.
Top 5 arm talent.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Rayshawn. There's a reason they created packages for him in 2009. They had to get him and Aaron on the field at the same time.
For sure.
Yeah, Rayshawn, and he earned a football scholarship.
Yeah, the Kilgore.
He went to Kilgore.
Yeah, he went to Kilgore.
Yeah.
So he's one of those guys that just didn't get a chance to start. If he has a different birthday, he's on the list probably.
I mean, hell, if he played in 22.
Exactly. Nah, don't do that.
I
Stop it.
All right. Yeah, I got you.
We Flowers, right?
Yeah, we're Flowers.
All right. Who else didn't make it? I think the next one maybe Galen Wiley, 16.
Yeah.
Galen is actually better than the memory of him, and because 16 is not remembered because they only played 1 game in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
And they lost, and it's historically probably the worst defense ever. Just keeping it a book.
Yeah.
So he don't get a lot of like love and credit from that because it just wasn't a season to remember. But it wasn't Galen's fault.
It wasn't, and no, that wasn't on him. That defense in 2016 just wasn't very good.
Nah, and they still should have won the first. They still should have won that game if we don't fumble.
Yeah, we don't fumble.
Less than 3 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, and like from a physical stature standpoint, Galen Wiley is one of the ones that stand out. He was
tall.
He was tall.
Could throw the ball down the field.
Yeah. I liked him out the play action for sure.
Didn't have the best run. Like he wasn't the best runner we had, but was decently athletic. Like not on the top end though. Probably below average as an athlete and a runner.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know,
I know he played around for wide receiver a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, and then we got Haynes, Jordan Lawson, and Lawson's a talented dude. I think Lawson is going to be like if Haynes ain't in that class, Lawson probably takes that team probably just as I don't want to say just as far.
No, I can't say just as far because we do not get past Klein Collins without
Klein Collins.
We absolutely that is all Haynes, and
that probably would have been his ceiling. Right
it's hard for me to say what we would.
But I like Jordan. Though. I thought he was a good player. I thought he did good things. You know what I'm saying? Like if Haynes ain't on that roster, you don't look at him the same way.
Yeah.
Because you think you got something better sitting behind him.
For me, it's hard to really just say what Lawson could have been, what he was, because I saw good, especially during 707 season. He was really good, but that's without pads. But I also saw Mesquite Horn. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to say. That's why I'm saying like Klein Collins is we need a Haynes.
Well, I mean that's unfair. Like because you saw Haynes the senior, so if we had just a shorter trigger, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, kids gonna have a bad game. He's a quarterback. There ain't too many quarterbacks that ain't had a bad game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He just had that was what was on the roster, and we knew it was better. But I thought he was pretty good. To be honest with you, just looking at him, he didn't like hurt us much. I didn't see him on the field hurting us more than, like I said, that one bad game. But even after that, he had good moments throughout the year when he got a chance to play.
Yeah.
So I like Lawson. I thought he was pretty good. What else we got? And I think that's pretty much it.